Okay, and so what I want to do is go over with you the the everything about the summit that's starting on Monday. It's free transformation summit. It's 11 days. There's 21 experts, and I can see my little face. Oh, there I'm live. Okay, it's confirmed. Okay, so I want to go over with you guys the 21 experts that are going to be live for you starting Monday, June 4th. I started this process and I did a countdown, and then some of the schedule shifted around a little bit, okay? So I'm gonna go over, I have this little piece of paper up here. I'm gonna zip through these. There's videos, there's a recorded interview that's a video, and it's also gonna be available on an audio, okay? And the topic of the summit is eliminate what is holding you back, live a wildly inspired life of freedom and success. So my goal in this whole thing is if you have ambition to create any life goal, no matter where you're at, sometimes you feel like you're running on the hamster wheel. You might have some fear about taking that leap off. I mean, all sorts of things. And so it's through the stories of these 21 experts. It's like we really got into their lives and what transitioned and helped them, and really like where's their focus now on helping other people who may be in the same position. All of the 21 experts have free gifts that they're giving, so it's awesome. And I recommend having a pen and paper out. Each video goes live for 3 days, and then it'll all come down, and then it'll all go up. So the schedule is really clearly marked. If you go to theambitiouswomansummit.com and you just enter your name and email, and poof, you'll be in the site. You'll see all the stuff. You can also click to get messenger alerts for when that will give you the links, okay, in addition to an email. All right, so let's zip through it, the 11 days. So the first day we're starting out with Christiana Carter and Chad Cooper. Christiana is a clarity coach, and she started out organizing people's homes and discovered it was really like she was organizing how they think. And now she's a clarity coach. It's kind of like mind mapping, and she didn't even know about mind mapping. And now she actually helps thought leaders get their branding and messaging out through really a clear way. And so she's very incredible. There's some golden nuggets I'm not going to share with you. And so I hope you see her on Monday. Chad Cooper is somebody who retired from Microsoft at 35. He was one of Tony Robbins' top coaches. He has his own coaching program. He's a philanthropist. He just wrote the book, Time is Not the Problem. He's got tons of information, and we actually broke it into 2 parts because he gives a whole bonus video. After we got off the recording for the live, he started talking about something that's part of his paid program. That's day 1. So the next 2 people are Cynthia Oliveira de Cap and Amanda Romania. So Cynthia is a master aromatherapist. She's very much into the feminine, the divine. She's a spiritual counselor, very powerful woman. She calls herself a conscious elder, and power packed full of amazingness. And Amanda Romania, she's an Akashic record reader and teacher. She also takes people on trips to Egypt, Glastonbury, things like this. She just started a documentary business, and the first one is about the women of Standing Rock. And so she's a spiritual counselor, and she's also an author, okay? Incredibly powerful interview. They all are. And so then the next day, which is day 3, is Josh Brotherton and Susan Walter. Josh has a really, really interesting story that I really wanted to draw out, because he's somebody who's an engineer and was really fearful about this spiritual trek or what he had, it's just a lot of fear. And then he ended up saying yes. And it's completely transformed his life. He's now a practitioner and a healer of Marconics. And many people may not have heard of Marconics before. And I see that this said I scheduled a video 20 minutes ago. So anyway, I hope you're here. And it's a little hard getting online and doing live sitting from a desk. So anyway, so Josh, incredibly powerful interview. Susan Walter, she's somebody who had some near-death experiences very early in her life and started seeing angels and her own. And then she started seeing other people's angels and started painting them. And then more recently, she got into solfeggio mandalas, which is it's crazy interesting. And it's actually like a vibration. And she's creating this whole mandala set. So you can like break out your colored pencils and have a complete transformation. So I was really happy to bring what she's doing to all of you. The next day is Marilyn Preston and Leslie McGurk. Marilyn Preston has the longest syndicated column in the United States on fitness. It's like 40 years. And she's also an Emmy award-winning producer. And she recently wrote the book All Is Well. And she's funny, insightful, I mean, so many things. So she's definitely someone to check out. The next person is Leslie McGurk. Leslie's a famous astrologer. She's also famous for her artwork in Japan. The department store in Japan actually created this entire clothing line and all sorts of stuff. She's got tons of kids' books. She's also a medium, and she's recently gotten more involved in pet mediumship and works with a vet, a local vet, and stuff like that. So she's very, very interesting. And so those, Leslie, Marilyn, are the next day. Then is Kelly Weaver and Jared Bull. Kelly is someone, she had this wild experience when trying to leave Hawaii. Now she lives there. And her group is called Soul Viver 808. And she's very much about a law of attraction. It's something that really transformed her life. And so it's really nice to be able to work with somebody as a healer or coach when they've actually lived through it. And that's how people transform and step into this type of work in the first place. And so that's what we're talking about today or during the summit. Jared Bull is somebody, he was a combat veteran. Then he went in for a trek, and he basically sat for 6 months with the yogis. And now he's a transformational coach. One of the most powerful things that I feel that we talked about is his question is, are you willing? Like, so many people are talking about what they want to do and what they want to create, and then they get stuck. They get stuck in the mind or thoughts or feelings or, you know, whatever. It's usually about an inward feeling. And we're always talking about action, but his question, which I feel was like incredibly powerful, is, are you willing to do what you want to do to create the life that you want? Okay. So the next day is Tracy Revell and Stacey Cohen. Tracy is, her business is called Embodied, oh my God, I just spaced it. But she's about guts to glory. It's all about, she's about presence and confidence coaching. So let's see, embodied confidence. And so she's, and in the interview, you can see too, she actually tells me to move my head and sit in it a little bit different. And I felt all this energy moving. It's very powerful, super interesting. So she's a really popular coach. And then Stacey Cohen, she is the Soul Shine Collective. So she's really about like the full expression, permission, empowerment. She's somebody who was a head person at a school with younger kids and has really transformed and stepped into doing it with, you know, the rest of the world. And so her insight is very interesting, and she's, it's a fun and lovely interview. The next day is Anumani Santos and then Rhonda Nekanicki. I hope I said that right. So Anumani is, she calls herself the modern day shaman. And she had an incredibly, she was totally like a corporate person and had this incredibly powerful dream that ended up transforming her life, bringing her gifts out. She's an author. She's a healer, spirit, you know, definitely a spiritual coach. And so another totally interesting interview. Rhonda is super fun. She's a transformation life coach. It's about transforming the amygdala. I mean, which is like, I had never heard of that before. So I'm going to let her tell you what that is. But she's incredibly lovely and super inspiring. She has done a lot of work with younger kids and stuff like that. She also happens to be a nurse. Okay, the next day is Mary Halima and Dunya. Mary Halima is a life purpose coach. She's all about manifesting your destiny. She does do the life purpose hand readings, which is something she and I have known each other for like over a decade or something. But at one point she had like read all of my clients' hands. She actually came out to one of my practices where I lived like 4 different times. She's been here where we're living now, I think once or maybe twice. But there's lots of interesting things, and she's a whole program to help you step into your life path. And she's somebody too who had a really, really corporate background and transformed her whole life. Then Dunya, she is a transformologist. She's also a law of attraction person. She had actually done some studies with Christy Whitman, but now she's doing something that's this style of coaching that's out of Australia. It's very interesting. She's somebody who is a TV host. And so she's about mess to magic and manifesting money and all sorts of things like this. So very, very powerful. Then there's Allison Stillman and Nada Howarth. And Allison is aromatic alchemy. She's about anointing essences and going through this spiritual process to really step into who you are, the authenticity. It's incredibly powerful, very interesting. And so I hope you'll join us for that one. And then Nada is an attraction life coach. She's also one of the head coaches at the Christy Whitman Group. She's all about authenticity. And this interview with Nada is very interesting. I don't know. It's like I don't even want to say very much about it because I want to make sure you go. And it is super interesting. But and she actually is very, very giving in her free gift of what you receive, this meditation in this series. And, you can end up on these calls and stuff. So definitely check her out. Margene Holden and Nikki. Margene is actually an actress. And so if you Google her, you'll see certain things. She actually created a life of going around the world and actually coaching and teaching and things like this. Hollywood has been banging her door down. I think she's going to be in like a Marvel movie or something coming out. So she's a stunt woman. I think she has a weekend thing that she's doing. Super interesting and fun. And then Nikki is somebody who has a challenge in her life, and she only sees 2 dimensions instead of 3. And so it's like really growing up with this. It was really powerful and impacted her life. And her coaching that she does is about complete self-design. So she's super interesting. It's a lovely interview. I totally adore her. And then Curly Marwaha, she is somebody also had a very, very powerful health situation as a younger kid, and Feng Shui actually transformed her health and her life. She's a life coach, gets into transformation and so many other things, and she's like basically oozing inspiration from her cells. So that is a full rundown. It's a lot. It's the interviews are about 45 minutes. Some are like 30 minutes. There's 2 that I know that are over an hour. You can also listen to them on audio. So go ahead and click the link, and it's theambitiouswomansummit.com, and hope to see you there. It all starts on Monday. Okay, you guys, I hope you're awesome. So happy to be here with you. I'll see you soon.